I am surprised that like there was no like collectible cup at the movie. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure there are some theaters out there that have like Minions collectible cups for Rise of Gru. I'm thinking about starting a collection of one for one of those. What do you think, buddy? I might start a collection. What's up, guys? My name's Will Crispy, and today we are reviewing DC's less impressive answer to Bolt, which is pretty much what DC League of Super Pets is. So, DC League of Super Pets stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Crypto, Kevin Hart as Aces, Kate McKinnon as Lulu, the guinea pig, John Krasinski doing a surprisingly good performance as Superman. The story of the film is Superman and the entire Justice League get kidnapped by this nefarious guinea pig who wields kryptonite as her weapon, and Crypto has to team up with some other animals and master his powers to save his human. And figures, the better part of us comes to save us. Dogs are better than us, right? Brody, dogs are better than us, right? You're better than us. Yeah. I mean, I love cats too, but they would plot to kill us. They probably wouldn't even do that. They just get all lazy. Cats would get lazy and wait for us to die. And they'd wait for us to die so they can eat our bodies. They probably wouldn't even have the energy for that. Cooper know. They know this. Cooper knows. So the movie begins like a lot of the posters made me think that it would. It starts with a lot of dog puns, Crypto getting jealous of the attention Clark is giving to Lois Lane and being an asshole about it, Superman and Crypto wearing glasses, Aquaman is lame jokes about dogs smelling their own shit. There's this one scene where Crypto freezes the paws of Kevin Hart's character and he says that's cold. Like it's one of those old corny, gritty cop dramas. And just a lot of lame jokes in general. Now, you are going to have to put up with that for a bit in the first act, but give it time. When the plot really begins, it gets better. It gets funnier. It gets more clever. Not perfect by any means, but does that mean it's good or bad? Let's talk about it. I was not excited by this movie, and it's definitely not going to go in my top 10 for 2022. I went to see it with some friends because one of them was particularly excited for it. Oh, and of course, can't forget the best reasons, right, Cooper? Right? It's definitely not as good as Minions Rise of Gru. I never thought I would say that sentence out loud, but it got a lot of chuckles from me and a few good laughs, I dare say. There are even some funny moments that happen in the background, like Lois Lane's show is called Pick a Lane, Buddy. When the Justice League gets imprisoned, I love how they their prisons resemble like animal like cages and whatnot. Flash is put on a gerbil wheel. Aquaman is put in a fish tank and they give him fish food and other fish to hang out with. It definitely has some charm. The charm works, some of the humor works. There are funnier, more charming characters in the movie, and much like Bolt before it, when it's riding the charm and the humor that comes from those characters, that's when the movie is at its best. But unfortunately, like with Big Hero 6, you also have to put up with quite a few annoying side characters. And a good deal of the performances from those side characters just kind of feel phoned in. Lex Luthor especially, I'm sorry, I did not like what they did with Lex in this film. And unfortunately, I do have to say this, most of the jokes, honestly, they just try too hard. They try to break the fourth wall, and the ones that don't land, they more than just don't land. They straight up fall flat. You got so many jokes in the movie just feel like they're 20 years late, or they feel too derivative. It feels like Secret Life of Pets all over again. Funny enough, that movie also stars Kevin Hart. There's this one scene in the movie where they're like, we need to do a training montage, and they immediately fail at it, and Crypto's like, we're gonna need a longer montage. And yes, that joke is as painful in the movie as it sounds. And there's also a bit where Crypto imagines throwing Lois Lane all the way over Metropolis into the ocean or whatever, and then he just thinks it through and he's like, nah, and it should have been a joke that worked, but just the way they executed it, it just felt so awkward. As you can probably tell at this point, the movie is definitely oriented towards kids. It is a kids movie first and foremost, and because of those reasons, I expected not to enjoy it, and it definitely does not hold up nearly as well as other DC animated properties. I mean, Marvel's killing it when it comes to live action. I mean, sort of Thor: Love and Thunder was a thing recently, but DC usually just knocks it out of the park in the end when it comes to the animation, and this movie is just not on par with those other greats as far as DC animation goes. And again, I really did not expect to enjoy this movie, but I kind of did, and I'm surprised that I did. I wonder what it was that made this movie assume that it wasn't going to be good, because it definitely wasn't the writing talent. The writer of this movie also worked on things like the Lego Ninjago movie, Sonic the Hedgehog, the Lego Batman movie. That movie's amazing. I think for the things that are working against this movie, what makes it watchable all the same is the screenplay. The screenplay is very good, largely because it is very character driven. Now, it's predictable. You can call what's going to happen way before it happens, but it's still good at making you at least care about the characters, or at least the main characters. It genuinely pulls on your heartstrings, and I think a good deal of the reason for that is it plays on the relationship between human and dog. And the moments where it's focusing on that are, again, some of the best moments of the film. It does make you feel manipulated quite often, though. There's this one flashback with Kevin Hart's character. It just feels like it's trying too hard to replicate When She Loved Me from Toy Story 2. But if you're a dog lover like I am, the manipulation is probably going to work on you, because I'm a dog lover. I can't help it. I can't let go of Cooper's paw. That's how much I... Look at this. Look at this. He trusts me with his paw. That's something. That's something. And just for the record, I know my bed looks like a mess right now. I needed a nap. I'm sorry. And most importantly, it makes you care about the characters. They do have some moments where they turn the superheroes into punchlines, but for the most part, I think they do poke good fun at them. Like, particularly with Batman. And okay, the casting choice for Batman, like, I didn't realize that this was the guy who played him when I first heard the voice in the trailers. But when I found out that it was Keanu Reeves voicing Batman, like, you can just hear it. You can hear Keanu in that voice. Whoever was behind that casting choice, mad props. This is like a miracle. This is a miracle level amazing casting. Batman must have like 10 or 20 lines in the whole movie, which I'm fine with. They don't overuse him. But every line they give Keanu, he just knocks it out of the park. He is easily one of the best things about the movie. I say one of the best things about the movie because when it comes to the number one best thing, I can't really decide whether I liked him better or whether I liked Merton the Turtle, voiced by Natasha Lyonne, better. Natasha Lyonne is a great actress, and she does a great job with Merton. Merton is like this turtle who has eyesight problems and is trying to get with everything that vaguely resembles a turtle. She tries to hook up with like a construction helmet at one point in the movie, and it's great. You got a lot of adult jokes that come from her. Like, she straight up curses a few times in the movie, and they bleep it out. Like, she gets super speed and she goes at the speed of light and ends up like in a farmland or something, and she's like, where the fuck am I? And they censor it. And I kind of think it would have been a bit more elegant if they'd like had some kind of scenery censors, like if a doorbell, like when she says the S word, like there's a doorbell. When she says the F word in that one scene, they just have like there's an explosion nearby or something. Like, they just straight up have like this TV, like this live television sensor go off whenever she curses. It's a little weird, but like it's funny and it comes out of nowhere. And Natasha's delivery is great, so I accepted it. It's great. Speaking of the adult jokes, there were a few of them in this movie, and I was surprised by how many there were. I honestly, if I saw this movie as a kid, I would think it's all right. Like, it'd be okay, but it would grow on me a bit as I grow up. Now, there are plenty of other movies that do that thing better, but it is not an easy thing to do. And whenever a movie does accomplishment, hats off, and this movie does accomplish it. So aside from Keanu, Batman, and Merton, the best thing about this movie has to be Dwayne and Kevin. And Dwayne The Rock Johnson just emanates likability. I'm a super hyper fan of the guy, and he does a very good job at selling Crypto's innocence. And like, I feel like he works well with that and the design for Crypto. Like, the Crypto is a very well designed dog character. Like, he's adorable. The Rock in this movie is not as likable as he is in some other roles. It's just not the same when he's doing voice acting versus live action. Like, come on. He brings you in with that beautiful smile, man. You know what I mean. And as usual, he and Kevin have a great chemistry. They always have. They've worked together before. And Kevin actually delivers a surprisingly restrained performance, which I like. That being said, Crypto really is a more interesting character in the comic. He's a cool character. There are even moments where he's scary. I like him in this movie, but he is better in the comics. And like I said before, John Krasinski is Superman. Not bad. Surprisingly good. Now, the villain in this movie, the writing for Lulu is kind of generic, but what makes the villain work is Kate McKinnon. Kate McKinnon cannot save a bad script, but if the script is even just okay or decent, she can make it better with her performance. And she has the best moment of that. She straight up calls, I forget which character it is, but she straight up calls someone a piece of shit, and they go back to her like the humans can't understand what they're saying and all that. They make a great comedy with that. I also like she has this really good moment where she straight up burns down give me just a sec. They want to get out of here. Hang on. She straight up has this moment where she burns down a pet kennel and leaves all of the other animals there to die. But she takes this one adorable cat with her and she's like, I'm not a monster, even as she's leaving all of the others to die. It's great. Speaking of the cat is also a cute character, but the best action moment comes from the cat. Like, she has like a Gatling gun in her tail. She coughs up hairball grenades. And last thing I'll say about the performance is we got another movie with Keith David in it. It was Nope, and then this one. Anything that Keith David is in is great. I would go gay for that man's voice. Did I stutter? This summer and this year in general has had some ups and downs with its movies. Some of the writing in this movie is straight up Netflix film bad, honestly, and it really makes you wonder if Warner Brothers has its priorities straight. Like, I don't know, bring Henry Cavill back for a proper Superman sequel, or a movie about DC Dog. But I genuinely expected this movie to be a 0. And even if I do have problems with it, it is definitely better than a 0. Honestly, it does unfortunately feel like a cash grab. I've seen enough of them to recognize when there is genuine passion by some of the people on the creative team and the cast and the crew being put in. So yeah, this movie is a cash grab, but there are people putting some passion into this cash grab. And I will admit a good deal of my problems come from my bias, as I'm a huge Superman fan and I really wanted that Superman sequel. So I don't know, maybe I'm just that bitch. No, I am that bitch. I want my Superman sequel. I want Henry Cavill back. I genuinely want to see this movie again. And I don't say that about a lot of things. Maybe not sober, but I do want to see it again. My recommendation for you, wait until it comes out on HBO Max. We're in different times right now. Save your money. Honestly, I think it would have been a better move to release this movie on HBO Max. I mean, why not? Give your subscribers more incentive to stay subscribed. I do say these recommendations with hesitation. Again, I'm a Rock super fan, and I want to support him in his endeavors to just do his own thing in Hollywood and movie making in general. He's got his own production company right now, which I'm all for. But again, different times. You'd be paying less for an HBO Max subscription than you would for a gallon of gas. What the fuck is up with that? But then again, we do have Junkyard Dogs coming soon, and I saw that trailer. I'm waiting patiently. So yeah, very stale beginning, a lot of jokes that don't land, quite a few other problems I have with it, but taking this movie for what it is, there is a lot of stuff that works. Now, what the hell? This movie's 80% crispy. Maybe wait until it cools down and comes out on HBO Max, but give it a watch. Maybe not sober. Guys, as always, for anybody watching this, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Come join the Crispy Kingdom. We are all royals here. This has been real crispy. And that's it. The crisp is spoken. Take care.